Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. I follow you to follow me on social media at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in commercial or residential real estate here in the great city of Houston or anywhere in our great state of Texas, I urge you to stop by our website at brooksanddavis.com. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're having a great Thursday. I want to urge everyone to text, share, or even reach over to the person in the cubicle next to them and have them check us out on Facebook, because today's episode is entitled Your Travel Network. Today, we have the CEO and founder of one of the largest meetup and travel groups anywhere in the great state of Houston, great state of Texas, or here in the city of Houston. I want to also give a quick shout out to my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. He won't be sitting in with us this week because he's off at the Urban CEO Awards. I know everybody remembers that we've been voting for Mr. Brooks for the past month to be the male CEO of the year. So we definitely hoping that he brings that trophy on home back here to Houston and to the Prime Real Estate Network. And as always, I want to give a big shout out to Larry. Brother, good luck to you. We miss you. We'll see you next week. But in Larry's stead, I have a very exciting co-host. You may remember her. She is with Taz Realty. She was a guest of ours on episode 42. She is the managing director of the Taz Realty Group. I want to thank her today for sitting in with us as my co-host. So I want to welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast my co-host this week, Miss Stephanie Milburn.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Facebook and Prime Real Estate. Again, my name is Stephanie Milburn. I'm with Taz Realty Group, and thank you for having me as your co-host.
Now, since our viewers last saw you, what's been going on with Team Taz?
Wow, it's been a lot going on with Team Taz. So I think that when we were last on the show, we introduced our Project 21, and that was our series of affordable homes in the city gas community. So now we are down to about 8 homes, and we're just in the last home stretch. I will be doing an open house in Sunnyside, though, in our affordable home series. So I will be at 8617 Dozier on Saturday. So if you guys want to come out to our open house, there will be open houses going on in City Gas as well. So the Project 21 is still going, and Taz Realty Group is currently a part of a national initiative called House in the Car.
Oh, wow.
So myself and our broker, Letitia Grant, we are a part of House in the Car. She is the chair, and I am the campaign manager for this NAREB initiative.
Now, I want to give you an opportunity to elaborate about these final 8 opportunities for families to move in to the community you were talking about in City Gas. So could you give our audience an idea of what type of pricing, affordability
Absolutely.
is in that
So
particular community?
when we say affordable homes, it is truly affordable. These homes start at $125, and the highest price was $165. So those are what we call affordable homes, and these homes also qualify for City of Houston Down Payment Assistance Program that offers $30,000 towards your down payment. So you can get into these properties and paying way less than what you would pay in rent these days. So one of my clients, the mortgage was $850.
No, and see, the thing is that I want to make sure we spotlight this for everyone who hears this particular episode. Is not only is it valuable from a scarcity standpoint, meaning that there's only 8 homes left, but I don't think the purchasing public understands that there's not as many opportunities to buy brand new
Correct.
in the city
Absolutely.
within 15 minutes of NRG Stadium, Minute Maid Park, the George R. Brown. So let's talk a little bit about the exclusivity of those homes in that area in comparison to what people would find if they had to go out into the suburbs looking for similar pricing?
Absolutely. So right now, just like Rick said, these homes are new construction. They are a part of, an initiative to get seniors, veterans, and low to moderate income buyers into new homes. So this is located in the City Gas community. This is 610 in North Wayside. So it's very close to downtown, 11 minutes to be exact. So we timed it. It's 11 minutes from downtown, and you just can't find this value anywhere else. So if you go anywhere outside of this inner loop, then you're definitely going to pay upwards of $180 and more for affordable housing.
No, I know this work that you guys have been doing for the past year is sometimes can go a bit underappreciated, but working with that first-time buyer segment myself, I understand how valuable it is and how you're changing lives. So keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
And we'll do everything we can to help market those final 8 homes with you all because, of course, any of my buyers, if we are looking in that price range, we will definitely stop by that community.
Please do. Please do. We welcome all buyers. And, of course, if you have any veteran buyers, if you have any seniors, this is a perfect example of a senior community because there's not any senior communities out there. And, of course, our seniors are on a fixed income, and they're only receiving, maybe $800 or $900 a month, depending on whatever their, disability or something like that. So this is a way for seniors to get into affordable housing without having to rent an apartment.
Oh, absolutely. So definitely reach out to Miss Milburn and her team today. You'll see her information all over our Facebook page. You'll see it flash every time she's on the screen today. So don't be shy. Do not hesitate. Reach out today. Reach out often. Refer anyone. If you know anyone who is a professional who's currently renting and needs to stay within that inner loop area, this is the perfect opportunity for them to not only invest in brand new construction, but also be in a part of town that they really want to be in. So, Ms. Stephanie, thank you for sitting in this week.
Thank you.
I want to take some time to introduce our guest this week. You may have seen this gentleman on Facebook, on Instagram. He's very active on social media. His meetup groups are something that are getting so popular that you might have heard about them from Dallas to Austin, back here to Houston. It's a pleasure to have him sit in with us today. He is not only the founder of blacktraveltube.com, but he's also the CEO at Urban Events Global. So I would like to welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Mr. Kevin Knight.
Thank you.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
Man,
I'm doing
appreciate
well.
you.
How about yourself?
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sitting in, and I'm doing great. It's great to have you here, and it's funny because me and you were talking off air a little bit about how we know a lot of people socially,
Right.
and we know we've met each other before, but it's been so long. He was like, man, have we met? And I was like, I'm sure we have because we know so many of the same people. And all of those people that I know always talk about urban events, some of the events and groups, meetups that you set up and organize. So could you just talk to our audience a little bit about your company, your website, and what it is that you all provide?
Absolutely. So Urban Events Global started around 2010, unofficially around 2010, and then officially about 5 years later. But essentially, I tell people in one sentence, we bring black people together, period. That's it. When you talk to people about what they want to do when they get old or when they retire, it's travel. And now that the generations are getting younger and younger, people want to travel at a younger age. So what we do is put together events where people of color can travel together around the world, whether that's Cape Town, South Africa, going on cruises, going on our camping trips that we do in Texas. It's just bringing people together to have a good time. That's it. Nothing magical about that. The only secret sauce is creating that community and that family and making everyone feel comfortable so that they can travel together.
And it's funny, every business owner talks about servicing a need, and that's what motivated them to start their organization.
Right.
So when you were thinking about starting a business and what it is that you wanted to go into, what need did you find as a young professional at the time that you felt like needed to be serviced?
I didn't. It was on accident. And
Oh,
so what happened was some friends of my girlfriend at the time and some friends, we went camping in New Braunfels, Texas. And we posted some pictures on social media. People said, hey, that looks pretty fun. I want to go. And I just kind of, I was in corporate America and financial services. So I didn't think much of it. I just said, okay, next summer, if I remember, sure, I'll invite you. Didn't really plan on inviting anyone. The summer rolled around, people started asking me, and then it just grew. And then from there, all the other trips that I was already taking, people wanted to come on those trips. So one of the things about me, I was born in Frankfurt, Germany. My parents were in the military. So traveling was something that was just natural to me, something that we just enjoyed doing anyway. So then, you have MySpace and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and you start posting these pictures and videos. People want to go on those trips.
Exactly.
And then they understand it's really affordable. It's nothing that costs an arm and a leg to do. So that's it. And then we just found a way to obviously make it profitable and make it worth my time. That way I can leave corporate America, because I was doing pretty well in private equity and financial services, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. That was my history since the year 2000, since I graduated from UT. And that was it. And then it just grew. And then I just used all the tools provided to entrepreneurs to just grow that business and grow that vision.
Are your services similar to a travel agency?
Yes and no. We actually put together events. So, people ask me all the time, can you help me buy, find a plane ticket or hotel? I can, but I won't, because it's just not, I just don't want to. It's not a good use of my time. What we do is we put together our own events. And in those events, we just invite you to come to the events that we've already prepackaged.
Gotcha.
So, for example, we're going to Afrochella in Ghana at the end of the year. We're taking like 80 people, as of today, 80 people that are paid and confirmed to go on that trip. So we put together a community of people that look like us, sound like us, have some of the same interests as us. We put together that package and we sell that package. And then myself and my staff will go on that trip and host it. And then we use some local tour guides to also, show us around and whatnot. So we just make it easy.
Make it easy. Yeah, that does sound easy.
I think one of the greatest things about your particular company is that you provide an avenue for like-minded professionals to meet people that they may not have normally interacted with, and find out that there's a lot more likenesses as opposed to things that make you not similar. So my question I wanted to ask you is and not to have you play armchair psychologist on our podcast, but why is it that you believe it is challenging for young African-American professionals to interact and meet other like-minded individuals? Because I'm sure that people tell you after the trip, this is so great, we had such a great time, I love the people that we have together. Why is it that you think people need a company like yours to help organize these type of things as opposed to being a bit more spontaneous and organic?
I think the reason why people need us, and this is just from our surveys and having conversations with people, some of it are just pure economics. For example, if you're a doctor in Arkansas and you're African American, or in Mississippi, you're probably one of the few African Americans in that bracket that may share some of those interests, or have the disposable income to even think about going and travel, or the want. You have to want to travel, and some of that's just based on information, wanting to go to Ghana, wanting to go to Cape Town, wanting to go to Barbados or St. Lucia, and knowing that it's possible, as opposed to some people just have more important things to do, like making sure there's food on the table or getting to work. So I think there's a few things, but mainly it's economics and education. I think one of the things that people enjoy doing, for example, you and I are in the same fraternity and we have a pretty large social network. So if we wanted to book a trip, we can just call our frat brothers or call our boys up or our network and say, hey, let's go to Cancun and get 15 people there real quick. Everyone doesn't have that network.
Exactly.
Everyone doesn't have the ability to just call 15, 20 people and organize a trip unless it's a bachelor party or something like that. People just aren't doing that. So I think what this organization does, it brings those people from all across the U.S. and Australia, London. We have clients everywhere to come together and just take that trip. I tell people all the time, we've all gone on a trip, maybe to Vegas or Miami, and we're like, oh, we got to do this again.
Right.
20 years later, we've never done that trip again.
Right, exactly.
Because life happens. You have kids. People start new jobs. You get laid off from a job. Some a funeral to plan, a wedding to plan. Life catches up with you. But at least you can just join us.
Well, speaking to that, I mean, how far in advance do you have a schedule for all of the trips that you have planned? Is it like a yearly schedule, or how does that work?
Good question. So we have annual trips. Like, for example, our Cape Town trip to South Africa is every July. Okay. So it's around 4th of July weekend. We have a New Year's trip every year. So this year it's going to be Ghana. Last year was Rio. The year before that was Thailand. And we're trying to figure out if we should keep doing Ghana, because Ghana is a popular trip that everyone wants to go on. And then twice a year we do our camping trips, and one in June and one in October.
Okay.
So those you can kind of set your calendar by. But for Barbados, we have Crop Over, which is kind of their carnival. that kind of changes depending on the time of the year. So we usually have our trips posted 6 to 12 months in advance.
Gotcha.
But we have a payment plan set up too. So if you put down $50 on any of our trip, you can start a payment plan where the funds come out automatically.
Okay.
It's automatically drafted. You get an automatic text message that will remind you that there's a payment about to come out. If you don't want that payment to come out, you just hit a button and it'll push the payment out for you. So it's really easy. You set your own payment schedule every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. We just set the due date.
Okay.
Yep.
Outstanding. I wanted to make sure I asked you about this because I've had an opportunity to speak with some people that have taken some of the group tours and group trips with you, especially the ones that are a little bit closer in and around Texas, like your New Braunfels trip. And one of the things that people have expressed to me is that if you're not a native Texan, let's say you moved to Dallas or Austin or Houston from out of town and you went to college out of state, so those social networks aren't necessarily there. Doing trips with you has been a great way for them to venture out and meet new professionals, because I know how it can be if somebody were to get a new job in Minneapolis or have to move to Chicago. Would only think that something like your group would be a godsend for not only am I meeting like-minded individuals, but the people that look like me.
Right.
And you start realizing that regardless of where we're from originally, the ties that bind are a lot stronger than those that separate.
Right.
So have you noticed any? Do people express that to you?
They do all the time, and what people can't believe is like, hey, I went to camp, there was no drama, it was fun, everyone was friendly, got to know each other, and I was like, well, what do you expect?
Exactly.
Like, you know, this isn't like a...
They expecting the drama.
They're expecting drama, but I think that at all of our events, we start off with a meet and greet. So for our international trips, we'll start off with a group dinner. For camp, we usually start off with like a scavenger hunt. But in that scavenger hunt, what you do is and this is where the psychology part comes in. You create the different contests and the things they have to do. It makes you mingle with other people to get extra points, and so you force people to interact. You know, you force people to help each other put up their tents and stuff like that. So you could kind of like in a nice way force people to be friendly, and it's like wow. And then in Texas, I'm not gonna lie, people are just nice. We're just pretty nice down here in general. Another thing we do is the meet and greet at the actual event. So we have a host. His name's Bailey. He flies in from Florida or Georgia, wherever he's living at the time, and we'll have like a men versus women, or like new people versus the veterans. But it's like all in fun to make people mingle, chat, and this is 500, 600, 700 people at the meet and greet. The other 400 or 500 people are probably asleep in their tent or whatnot.
Yeah.
But you just keep creating environments where people are just open to discussion, friendly. Same thing with our social media groups on Facebook. If you type in Urban Events Global or Urban Camp Weekend or any of those, you'll see our groups that are meant to bring these people together, start the communication early. So by the time you get to the event, it feels like you already know this person, even though you've only met them online.
How many people are on your staff to make this a successful event?
We just hired 2 more, so there's 5. There's
Okay.
5 total. For the longest, there was Ashley, and there was 2 of us, and a million volunteers. We have
Okay.
some very nice people that will help out here and there. And but right now there's 5 total staff.
Gotcha.
We just left a team retreat in Dallas this past weekend, so we're excited about the next 12 months.
And it's super cool. And we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you, Kevin, a little bit about your professional background, your entrepreneurial journey, because one of the most impressive things I've taken from this first part of our interview is how you've been able to make your passion your profession. And I know there are so many people that love to travel, love adventures, but haven't had the wherewithal or that push that it takes to cross over and make a passion their profession. So when we come back from the break, I want to talk a little bit about mentors, inspirations, and how they helped you to evolve as a businessman and entrepreneur.
Let's do it.
Stay tuned into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, because we're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors.
This is Rick Davis, realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network. Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area, and you find yourself falling in love with a home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963. And remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed.
Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. You can follow me on social media at Prime Real Estate Rick. I urge you to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I would be remiss if I didn't remind everyone that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As you can see, I'll be Team Pink all month. I urge everyone who has a passion or a want to get involved, donate, be active in your community. It's a great cause. I want to thank my co-host this week. She is Miss Stephanie Milburn, Managing Director of Taz Realty Group. Thank you so much for sitting in with us this week.
Thank you for having me. And again, my name is Stephanie Milburn with Taz Realty Group. You can follow me on Instagram at realtor_Stephanie Milburn.
And I want to thank our guest this week. He is the founder of Black Travel Tube, and he's also the CEO at Urban Events Global. I want to welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, Mr. Kevin Knight.
Thank you.
Man, it's been a great interview so far. I want to thank you for carving some time out your busy schedule to sit in with us. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about your entrepreneurial background and your evolution as a business person and professional, because one of the most impressive things about your organization is how you've been able to transition and make something that you're really passionate about and turn it into a worthwhile business pursuit. And I know there are so many people, when you ask them, what are your interests? What do you like? And they always list travel. But yet, you're the first person that I've personally had the opportunity to sit down with and meet that has entered this particular space. So my question for you, sir, is when you think back to your upbringing, were there anyone or any people that you would like to credit in your family that might have lit the spark to motivate you to be a businessman and entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's probably the easiest question, because I have a small but very spread out family, because some of them were in the military. But it would just be my mom. You know, she's a single parent mom, and she's the least entrepreneurial person I know, but you know, she worked hard, and she was in the Army for 22 years, retired, worked for the state of Texas for 15 more years, retired again. So it would be her, you know. But my other motivation was just, I didn't want to be broke, you know, growing up with not a lot of, before second grade, I was going back and forth to Charleston, South Carolina with my grandmother, and we lived in the hood. So that's enough motivation right there. It didn't, you know, we weren't surrounded by a lot of mentors. We didn't have access to a lot of that stuff. But you showed me how to make money, and I would make it. So whether that was bagging groceries at the commissary, cutting lawns, which I made a lot of money cutting yards. You can make $75, $80 in one day. 2 days, that's $160. In one weekend, you could buy everything you want. You know, you could buy a $45 Nintendo game, some $74 Jordans, everything I wanted, I could buy. And my mom always told me, if you could pay for half of it, I'll buy the other half. Well, that was
not
easy.
a bad motivator.
I could buy those Jabot jeans, I could buy those starter jackets, I could buy. So that was my motivation. Whether it was recycling cans, my mom dated a guy who's in the military, and he had me out there almost dumpster diving. You know, but I knew that you could make money crushing cans and recycling them, so I did it. So that was I'd say my real motivation. Second part of that question, you know, I went to college, went to University of Texas in Austin, and graduated with an economics degree. And I started in financial services, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I was a financial advisor up until 2015, 2016, and even on the private equity space. And I also worked, speaking of real estate, with the Real Estate Investment Trust, with REITs. So I had a diverse background, and I had that education as far as, I didn't know I was training to be an entrepreneur as I was, you know, doing those things, but that's essentially what became of it. And I was able to transition my passion into, you know, what I do now. I can't say that I just jumped off the ledge and said, okay, I'm out, I'm done with corporate America, let me start this business. I stayed in corporate America until I couldn't anymore, until I was just tired. I was exhausted. You know, you get home at 6 o'clock from traveling, working hard, and then the next part of your day starts. You're doing your job, your passion. Next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. You're like, damn, I didn't even eat dinner. I didn't. So, you know, it was a transition. You know, I wouldn't tell anyone right now to just jump out and just go. Like, hold on to your 9 to 5, pay those bills, but do that side hustle until you can't anymore, until your body says, I can't, I'm tired. Choose one.
Well, I would like to know. So a lot of times as entrepreneurs from the outside looking in, a lot of people think, oh, it's glamorous. It looks good. Like we make it look good. This was not planned, but we both have on entrepreneur shirts. I'm going to say that mine's better, but
We'll let y'all decide in the comments.
But what challenges have you faced as an entrepreneur?
What challenges haven't we faced?
Exactly.
Education, just you're learning everything from scratch. Everything's a new day. And I mentioned this at our team retreat. You just have to read and figure stuff out. And then you don't know what you don't know. So, I was dealing with PayPal 2015 and they froze $50,000 from me one time.
Wow.
And I didn't get that money back until 6 months later. I almost legit had a Fire Festival event and no one knew it except for my boy who loaned me $20,000 at the drop of a dime. And I got it back to him, of course, but they literally froze my money. So learning about merchants, learning about Stripe, learning about taxes, learning about some of the tax stuff I already knew, but just learning, you just don't know what you don't know. It's a landmine. There's no blueprint to what it is any of us are doing because the game has changed. Social media has changed. You have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Meetup. I can go on for days because we're on every single one of those channels because I'm going to use every tool available to us to market it. It's free. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
And so challenges, for African-American businesses and entrepreneurs, funding can be some. Fortunately, we don't need a lot of funding for what I do anymore because I came from the financial services background. I did okay. But some of the bigger projects I wanted to do, I couldn't get more money.
Gotcha.
The great part about having you on this week, and I want to thank you again for sitting in, is because there are so many people who've been on trips that you've organized that have known you from networking that may not have ever had the opportunity to hear you speak in this particular space to talk not only about your brand, your company, but your entrepreneurial background. So I want to thank you for your candor.
Thank you.
Because you'll be surprised at how many people we can inspire from something like this. If you are sitting in your cube in front of your computer, look up Mr. Knight at urbanaventsglobal.com because sometimes those opportunities to just have a weekend excursion is what it would take to get you through those long weeks in corporate America that you're talking about.
Right.
So please, could you give everyone in the audience contact information and talk about your next upcoming trip just in case they're like, I do need a getaway. I'm booking the next thing he has going on.
Yeah, our next event is actually next week, October 18th through the 20th in New Braunfels, Texas. That's Urban Camp Weekend. It's the largest camping trip in the country. We do it twice a year. But you can find all of our events at urbanaventsglobal.com. And that's on Instagram, Facebook, any social media you have, YouTube. Type in Urban Events Global. You'll see videos, pictures. We spend a lot of money on videos and pictures and videographers and photographers just because we are a people where you have to show us.
Right.
And so I can show you. Yeah, I can show you. Go to YouTube, go to Facebook, and you'll see. Like look us up there. My name's Kevin Knight. We're easy to find. We're not hard to find.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ms. Milburn, is there anything you would like to share with the audience as far as any upcoming events or any opportunities for people to interact with you personally?
I would like to share one of our upcoming events. Earlier, I spoke about a national initiative that we're a part of called House Then the Car. So on October the 26th, there will be an event here in Houston spotlighting House Then the Car. And these events are going on all around the country in different cities, so about 17 cities. So everyone is talking about House in the Car and wanting to educate the community on the importance of purchasing your home before you purchase a house. And so one of our targets is millennials. And so there's about 1.7 million millennials who are poised to purchase a house and they just haven't. So we are on a mission to educate.
Please.
Yes.
Please. I urge everyone, follow, support. Miss Milburn is everywhere on social media. Team Taz Realty is everywhere on social media. Please. It's a great cause and definitely great people you'll be working with. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the podcast this week. If you need anything, I'm only a phone call or DM away. Once again, shout out to Mr. Larry W. Brooks and everybody at the Urban CEO Network. Man, bring that award on home. On behalf of myself, our guest, Mr. Kevin Knight, and my co-host, the lovely Miss Stephanie Milburn, I want to thank you all for tuning in this week, and I'll see you all next Thursday. Be blessed.
Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.